I'm Tesla with GeekyKOOL.com. We're here with famous Marvel artist Jim Shooter. How are you doing, Jim?
Oh, very well, thank you. Yeah, I wasn't really much of an artist, but I was the boss. I ran the place, and I was also did a lot of writing, a little bit of art.
You've done 60 years in comics. Is there any one character that stands out to you?
Well, no, at each company, I had to love them all. They were my characters. But I guess my favorites to write at DC would have been Superman and also the Legion of Superheroes. And I'd say at Marvel was probably Spider-Man and the Avengers. And then at Valiant it was probably Harbinger and Solar. Defiant it was Plasm and Dark Dominion. Each company had different characters I liked.
Was it hard to start up Valiant?
Yes, it was. Any startup is hard. You can ask anybody who's ever tried to raise money. No venture capitalist, no investment banker wants to do a startup. They want to buy something, but they don't want to do a startup. So in order to raise that money for Valiant, I tried a lot of places, and eventually I found a place, and I had a meeting with Richard Bernstein on Western Publishing. He liked me, and I told him, I said, you know, you own some really good comic book characters, and he said, I do, and I told him about Magnus, Solar, the rest, and I said, I'd like to license them, but I'm not ready yet. And he said, I'll hold them for you, because he liked me. He said, I'll bet on you. And I said, okay. So it took me a long time, to finally find a venture capitalist who would give me the money I needed, contingent on getting those licenses. So I went back to Richard, we got the licenses done, and then I was able to raise the money to start Valiant. But it was a long process. Meanwhile, during that time I tried to buy Marvel. I had no trouble raising $115 million. That was no problem. We finished second in the auction. We didn't win, but still, it's so funny when you're buying something. No problem. When you're trying to start something, they don't want to do anything until you have some kind of equity, either established characters, or you're putting in money of your own, or anything that gives them confidence that they have you have a stake in it.
Secret Wars was a seminal event for Marvel. How did it come about?
Well, Kenner Toys licensed DC's superheroes for action figures. Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, and Robin. That's the big four. And so Mattel Toys, they didn't want to be the only ones without action figures, superhero action figures. And so they came to us. And first they were a little put off because our characters weren't as well known worldwide as Mattel's, and I said no. In the comic book market, we outsell DC 5-1. So people in this market, which buys a lot of toys, they already know who these characters are, and they said, well, that's great because you do something to get us some publicity in the real world. And I said, yeah, we're going to do one big story, 12 issues long, all the major heroes, all the major villains, it'll be epic, and I'll get you publicity. They said, oh, that sounds good. And so we did the deal, and away we went. The toy people didn't really have anything to do with the comic book, and we really didn't have much to do with the toy. We were just trying to do the best comic book we could and get them publicity, which we did. With that black costume of Spider-Man, got national media attention.
Where can people find you online, social media, if you have any?
Well, I had a blog for a long time. It's still up. It's called GeekyKOOL.com. And I have a lot of stuff posted there. If you haven't seen it, some of it is really interesting. You might want to see it. And there's another social media site, which I can't tell you the addresses of, but she can. Brittany, he wants to know where they can find me online.
Facebook and Instagram.
Just Jim Shooter. You look me up, Jim Shooter?
Yep.
Yeah.